Hello, podcastlers, and welcome to another episode of the NHC Podcast. And as promised, we are finally back with another taxon video.
It took us long enough.
2 months. Well, probably way more than 2 months by the time this episode is out. So, thank you, those of us who stuck with us during our little detour in content. We're going to shift back now, I think, to a bit of a more normal list of content, at least for most of the time. We hope, we say, we never know.
Or we're gonna slip back into the same thing in 2 weeks.
Spontaneous musical number. But
yes,
yeah,
that was a thing that happened.
that was indeed. Anyways, today I am joined by Armin, obviously,
Hello there.
and also Kalamakau.
Hello.
And for today's episode, we're not going to make it easy on ourselves because, it's a punishment for not having discussed a taxon for so long. We are discussing the North American Troodontid, formerly known as Troodon, which is at least two taxa, formerly known as Troodon, plus a tooth taxon. So basically, we're going to be covering, I believe, 5 different taxa, maximum or minimum. It's a mess. And we've decided to do this. So, yeah, it's also kind of relevant. The paper that this episode is mainly focusing on came out, I think must be 2 years ago now, like roughly 2 years ago. It came out around this month, I think November or so. And we'll just get into it. So I think the sort of the structure for today's episode is we're going to be discussing a bit about the history and science of Troodon and Stenonychosaurus, the two quote-unquote big troodontid taxa that have played a role in American paleontology. And then we'll start discussing other genera, Lastinibinatrix and all that, sort of through history, and trying to clarify sort of where they stand now in scientific consensus. So,
of course, we also got paleomedia to discuss, and
of course, and then
retroart.
Retro paleoart, paleomedia, and speculative evolution as well.
Oh yes, it also comes into play with Troodon.
Yes. Troodon, originally spelt with diaresis on the second O, which has officially been amended since 1876.
We lost the umlaut. How's that? No, Troodon.
I don't know, Troodon?
Troodon.
Troodon?
I'm going off the German version of So,
I mean, yeah, the guy who named it Leidy was American, so sure.
Why would an American use an umlaut?
I don't know. So the name means wounding tooth because, spoiler alert, the entire species based around a single tooth.
Yeah.
Not even a complete tooth. From the Judith River Formation. Formations may be a bit important, but just, yeah, Judith River Formation, Troodon. Wounding tooth, literally a wounding tooth. Like if you just stab yourself with it, it would probably cause a bit of a wound. That's
given the size of it, I doubt that it's gonna be doing a lot of damage. But
I mean, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna give you a wound of sorts.
Yeah, but not like Flex Seal levels of a lot of damage.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they didn't need to do so much damage because they didn't have Flex Seal in the Cretaceous to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just share a picture of Troodon, which is old art by Cizio Purple. I'll just be sharing it in a second. Here we go.
It's purple.
Indeed. Oh god, and it's by Cizio Purple. I did not see that through. Oh, okay. Anyways, now you may be wondering, if Troodon is only known from a tooth, how do we know what it looked like? Well, for quite some time we didn't. Troodontids are largely omnivorous. And this was evident kind of in the tooth. Well, actually, Troodon was originally classified as a lizard, then as a megalosaurid by Nopcha, because everything was a megalosaurid back then. Then in 1924, Gilmore suggested that the tooth was actually a Stegoceras tooth. Stegoceras. I don't know how it would be pronounced. Stegoceras. I don't know. But whatever the case, it was a pachycephalosaur tooth. And in fact,
Stegoceras.
that Stegoceras was a junior synonym of Troodon. And as a result, there was no Pachycephalosauridae back then. There was Troodontidae. That's where you would find Stegoceras. And possibly Pachycephalosaurus. One of Pachycephalosaurus named.
Confusing.
I did not expect to be talking about Pachycephalosaurus in our Troodontidae episode, and yet here we are. Yeah, Pachycephalosaurus wasn't actually named at the time.
Yeah, just let's move away from the cursed topic.
Yes, Pachycephalosauridae. That's arguably the only topic more cursed than this. Or Nanotyrannus. Or Triceratops. But there's a lot of pretty cursed
Spinosaurus.
Stuff. Oh god. Okay, Spinosaurus is the cursed most.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's a couple of episodes you shouldn't expect anytime soon.
The cursed ones.
Just a moment, apologies. But eventually, Sternberg reclassified Troodon as a theropod, and then Sternberg named Pachycephalosauridae because this was shortly after Pachycephalosaurus was discovered.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the big question is, as I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
God damn it. Cow distracted me. That's okay, I'll edit this bit out. I'll add the Troodon holotype in post.
All right.
Yeah, if you do have suggestions like that, just mention it in the episode. It's easier that way.
All right.
No typing, or else you get
Noted.
the sassy treatment.
Oh no.
No, everything but that.
Yeah. Nope. I've learned. Thank you for being so kind.
Back to the topic. How do we know what Troodon, quote unquote,
I haven't
look like?
edited back. I haven't cut away because I have editing to do now. Okay, so this is where we subtly cut. So go ahead,
Okay.
Armin. Anyways, so as I was saying earlier, how do we know what Troodon looked like? Well, that is where Stenonychosaurus comes in. In 1932, or in the early 1930s, and then in 1932, Sternberg found in the Dinosaur Park Formation of Alberta and named Stenonychosaurus, based on a foot and fragments of hand and tail. Stenonychosaurus, of course, was notable for the sickle claw, which was the enlarged claw on the second toe, which was very unusual at the time. And now, and also, oh god, this is where it gets interesting. He also named Polydontosaurus grandis from a partial lower jawbone, which he identified as a lizard. Now, bear Polydontosaurus in mind, because this boy is going to come back to haunt us. Allegedly, this is according to Wikipedia, but I've not found a source for this, but at the same time, it sounds plausible. Sternberg speculated that since Stenonychosaurus had a very peculiar pes and Troodon equally unusual teeth, they may be closely related. Allegedly, that's what he said, and that's the first argument for synonymy of close relation between Stenonychosaurus and Troodon. And yeah, that's it. And then we come to 1969.
Nice.
Dale Russell finds and describes a more complete skeleton of Stenonychosaurus. We'll be getting back to that one later because Dale Russell came up with an interesting hypothesis about speculative evolution, which we'll get back to later. Some of you may already know where we're going with this.
I think everyone should know at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, so Stenonychosaurus became more and more well known, a lot more skeletons and all that. We finally had an idea of what this guy looked like from 1969 onwards. And then there was just a big mess. And that's it, because Philip Currie and Gregory S. Paul got involved. Because Philip Currie lumped all of the North American taxa pretty much, even including like Pictinodon, which we're not really going to get into, which is another tooth taxon, and Polydonsaurus and Stenonychosaurus, all into the group, or all lumped with Troodon formosus. And then Gregory S. Paul came along.
Because lumping a tooth taxon is a fantastic idea and should definitely be done.
And then Gregory S. Paul came along.
Good job.
Gregory S. Paul came along and lumped Sauronethoides mongoliensis, the Asian troodontid, as Troodon mongoliensis.
Wastebasket taxon hours.
Thankfully, the Gregory S. Paul one did not become consensus. Thankfully, because that would just be terrible.
Sadly, we still had to deal with everything North America being Troodon.
Yeah, which was consensus through to the early 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
However, there were some people in like late 2010s, late 2000, around 2010, that people started suspecting that maybe Troodon is a dubious genus because, fun fact, it's literally just a tooth.
Not even a complete tooth.
It's
terrible.
A complete tooth.
So Lindsay Zano reviewed Troodontid classification in 2011 and argued that a lot of the late Cretaceous specimens assigned to Troodon formosus are likely new genera, and that T. formosus is dubious. Surprisingly, also, Gregory S. Paul has argued that in his, at least the second version, I believe, possibly also the first version of his guide, what was it called? He did the guide to prehistoric life. Princeton Field Guide to Dinosaurs.
Okay, it was on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't quite. I wasn't quite
he actually argued that Troodon formosus was dubious and that Stenonychosaurus should be the proper name. So, good move, Gregory S. Paul. He still lumps Sauronethoides as Stenonychosaurus mongoliensis, though. So,
old habits die hard, I suppose. But it's a step in the right direction for Paul.
Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, it's clearly been a mess, and there's been no consensus, really. Well, and the only consensus that there ever was bad consensus. But thankfully, 2 years ago, Aaron van der Eest comes along. He's done some great papers already. He by that time he'd already done the Ornithomimus feathering paper. For those of you who know that one, so he just came along, teamed up with Philip Currie, and redemption time for Philip Currie. He atoned for his sins. If only a lot of other paleontologists could do that. Yeah. I'll give Currie this. A lot of his sins, like, he's not afraid to atone for them. Like Pachyrhinosaurus horn, 2008 he suggested it. 2009 he debunked it. He suggested the Troodon megalump, and now he's also debunking it along with Van der Eest. So, props to them. And this is sort of the subject, I guess, of our video, which is kind of sort of debunking and explaining where it's at now. So, let's get to the meat of it. Troodon is dubious now. Van der Eest have pointed out that there's really no defining feature for Troodon, and they do so with the help of another taxon, a new taxon, Latinibinatrix, that has basically identical teeth to Troodon, but it's clearly not the same taxon. So the teeth are not enough to define a species. In Troodontidae, at least. However, does this make Troodon invalid?
No, they're 100%.
Does not. The issue that Troodon finds itself in is that because the tooth has no diagnostic features, it cannot be proven to be a valid taxon, but we cannot disprove that it's a valid taxon. For all we know, it may be a tooth of some like giant mega troodontid because they just don't have distinguishing features in their teeth. So we just will never know. Like the chances of, I mean, okay, maybe some technological advancement will allow us to like find these micro details in the teeth that will allow us to distinguish them. I doubt it. But at least for the time being, there is no way of telling whether or not the Troodon tooth belongs to a distinct taxon.
So basically, Troodon still exists, but it only the name only applies to that very specific tooth and nothing else.
Yeah. So nothing's been lumped. There's no synonymy. There's no like Stenonychosaurus is the same thing as Troodon. It's just a better name. None of that. Troodon is its own thing. Just a tooth. So where does that leave the other Troodontids? So Troodon, as we mentioned, this is where the formations come to play. Troodon is Judith River Formation, but also still just that one tooth. If we were to find new material from Judith River, still provenance alone would not be enough to apply these new specimens to Troodon. Meanwhile, Stenonychosaurus becomes this small 2-meter long, well-described troodontid from Dinosaur Park Formation. That's the formation of Stenonychosaurus as it currently stands. These are the only remains attributable to Stenonychosaurus at the moment. The Dinosaur Park Formation, 2-meter long troodontid. Now, you may notice I am pointing out the size of the troodontid from Dinosaur Park Formation, that is Stenonychosaurus. That's because there's 2 troodontids from Dinosaur Park Formation. The paper also names Latin Venatrix McMasterae, which is a bloody amazing name. I know we shouldn't like get hung up over dinosaur names, but that's amazing. It's Hidden Huntress because the specimen was known for quite some time, but was just dismissed as a Troodon specimen and held in museum vault.
It also just really, it's a name that sounds great. Let's be honest.
And McMasterae is also a very emotional name for Aaron van der Eest, being his mother's name. Because he's got an incredible story behind him of how he managed to become paleontologist. So yeah.
So as Akira pointed out, Stenonychosaurus was only about 2 meters long, but Latin Venatrix is so far the biggest described troodontid.
Well, the biggest described non-dubious troodontid, because we do have the Alaskan taxon, which has been described, I think, possibly.
Has it been described?
I think it may have been described, but it's a tooth taxon. So the description would be pretty bad because it is just a tooth taxon. But even then, I'm not sure. Actually, let me check the paper.
Should I just post?
Yeah, the largest, it's Fiorillo and Gangloff 2000 is the quotation for the largest known teeth from Alaska.
Oh boy. More tooth taxa. Let's just
it's a
ignore
tooth taxon.
those.
It's unnamed tooth taxon, but it is a tooth specimens, tooth remains. But ignoring the giant Alaskan
let's just say Latin Venatrix is the biggest named troodontid then.
Yeah, biggest name and biggest well preserved as well. It is quite
Should
well
I post,
preserved. I have the skeletal as well.
I was gonna post Fred's artwork of it, but okay.
I was gonna post the skeletal of it, and then we can post the artwork of it.
Okay.
These are the specimens. It's known from like 5 specimens. So it's pretty well preserved. Now, so it would have been about 3.5 meters long. The thing is, like, if you look at something like Cizio Purple's artwork, which is in itself based on Getaway Trike skeletal, it's scaled to be about 2 meters long, around the same size as Stenonychosaurus. But this is because there is one bone attributable to Latin Venatrix that shows it could have reached much larger sizes. This would be the frontal. There's this one frontal that is massive that shows it would have been 3.5 meters long. And the fun fact about frontals is they're at the top of the head and they're completely flat pretty much. So they can't be shown on skeletals very easily. So it's very hard to scale them unless you actually have it in 3D. and can like actually scale up from other frontals of the same taxon, which is what they did because you have a lot of frontals of Latinovenatrix. So yeah, so it would have been about 3.5 meters long, and yeah, big tooth, big jaw. Still omnivorous, so none of that hypercarnivorous stuff. Because for those of you who know of the Alaskan taxon, it's allegedly properly carnivorous taxon. If you've watched Planet Dinosaur, which we'll discuss a bit later, they mentioned how it would have been a big carnivore preying on Edmontosaurus because there were no other large predators, which of course hasn't aged well with the discovery of Nanoposaurus. But yeah, just Troodontids and not aging well just fit together so perfectly.
There are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna post Fred's artwork because it pretty much does a good job at conveying the size of it.
Oh yes. Very nice. And also great Troodontid artwork.
I mean, yeah, of course it's Fred. I mean...
Yeah, quite impressive. Now, Latinovenatrix, also known from Dinosaur Park Formation, and there is some very damn interesting stuff that the paper puts forward in terms of evidence and hypotheses as to what the interactions may have been like between Latinovenatrix and Stenonychosaurus. Firstly, the phylogeny. So, God dang it. Stenonychosaurus is sort of an American taxon in that it's probably the descendant of a lineage that was in America for quite some time. Latinovenatrix, on the other hand, is an Asian descendant, as in its ancestors were much more closely related to Asian taxa than to Stenonychosaurus or other American taxa. The suggestion being that there was a faunal interchange between Asia and North America, so you would have this troodontid lineage, not necessarily like one species making the trek, but several successive species traveling over from Asia and spreading into North America. And what we actually see between Latinovenatrix and Stenonychosaurus is replacement. Stenonychosaurus is present in the first half of the Dinosaur Park Formation. Latinovenatrix is present in the second half, so it's likely that one replaced the other, either because of a change in terms of food, like the environment and the prey items became more conducive towards Latinovenatrix, and that's why it survived and Stenonychosaurus went extinct from the Dinosaur Park Formation, or alternatively, Latinovenatrix actually directly outcompeted Stenonychosaurus, since they're basically the same thing, except Latinovenatrix is much bigger and more powerful, and literally just muscled out the American Stenonychosaurus. And I just find that really damn amazing that we can tell this and that there's evidence for it, because Dinosaur Park Formation is quite interesting. You get all these different stages, you get this turnover, and to see this turnover directly between two taxa, Stenonychosaurus and Latinovenatrix, is just mind-blowing. That's largely it for Latinovenatrix and Stenonychosaurus. Stuff.
Those are the big two names that came up after Troodon was basically nuked into oblivion.
Yeah. But there is also some other specimen to discuss.
Yeah.
Which is from the Two Medicine Formation, which is where we get back into formations. Now, who joined?
Sassy joined.
Sassy joined, but he's muted.
You just listening in? Oh, okay.
Okay, so he has to leave because we're not ready for him, but he will join shortly once we start discussing the other bit. But just to finish up with the Van der Rees paper, Two Medicine Formation has specimens that were indeed assigned to Troodon. Now, there are several similarities between the specimens from the Two Medicine Formation and Stenonychosaurus, notably similarities between the frontals and metatarsals. However, and I quote here, Van der Rees says, further investigation into the Two Medicine Formation Troodontids is required to confirm the assignment of these specimens to Stenonychosaurus and Equalis. And that's one of the things I really love about this paper. It does not do what the paper's focus is not on. The paper's focus is on Troodontids from Dinosaur Park formation, description of a unique new taxon, implications for Deinonychosaur diversity. You can't do everything in one paper. And they admit that, it would be jumping the gun to just automatically assign the two medicine formation Troodontids to Stenonychosaurus without having done due research. So they refrain from doing so. So scientific consensus now, I feel, until there is a new study on the two medicine formations Troodontid, is that the two medicine Troodontid is probably Stenonychosaurus, but not officially, not confirmed Stenonychosaurus. Further research is needed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so what we're left with after this paper is Stenonychosaurus in the first half of Dinosaur Park formation, Latin Venatrix in the second half with a bit of overlap, and in the two medicine formation, we have a two medicine Troodontid. That's the TMT, is the acronym, so to speak. And Troodon is a dubious tooth. Troodon is a tooth. But the paper does not stop there. The paper also tackles Polydontosaurus, which, if you'll remember, we mentioned briefly. When Stenonychosaurus was described, Polydontosaurus was a little portion of dentary, I believe the left dentary.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with Polydontosaurus, obviously it's not a lizard, it's a Troodontid. I hope you guys saw that one coming.
Personally, I'm shocked.
Yeah, so they point out that the possibility exists because Polydontosaurus is also dinosaur park formation, that Latin Venatrix McMastre is Polydontosaurus. However, there is terrible records of where Polydontosaurus specimen was found. There's no proper stratigraphic position. And dentary morphology is not highly variable. That was kind of the focus of the paper. Cannot be used to distinguish taxa. So you don't know where the Polydontosaurus was found, and there's no diagnostic features. So Polydontosaurus is a nomen dubium. It's a dubious taxon as well. Just like
So
Troodon.
basically it joins Troodon in that role. That's
kind of where we stand at the moment. Latin Venatrix, Stenonychosaurus, awesome. Two medicine Troodontid, awesome, albeit possibly Stenonychosaurus, nobody knows. Troodon, Polydontosaurus, blech, to use the technical term.
And Alaskan tooth taxon.
Right, there's the Alaskan tooth taxon, which is a lava tooth taxon. Then there's also a bunch of brain cases from Alaska, which represent a normal Stenonychosaurus-sized Troodontid. So there's two Alaskan Troodontids, so just calling an Alaskan Troodontid is a bit of a issue. Then we go back further in time to the Jurassic, where we have Hesperornithoides, which was recently described. But we also have, what was its name? Couparion, which is a tooth of a Troodontid. And then we have Pectinodon, which is, I believe, Hell Creek, and possibly somewhere else. Nobody knows. Also, just teeth. I don't think that can really be dubious. The paper doesn't even bother tackling Pectinodon. So, Oofus.
Big Oofus.
But oh well.
Yes. So that's pretty much it. Troodon Stenonychosaurus throughout history, and the Van der East paper, which is amazing, and I urge you guys to check out. Obviously, it's going to be in the link in the description below.
As always.
Yes, except for the Jack Horner papers. They never get linked in the description.
Never.
Horner smash.
oh god, yeah. I wonder if that joke will be outdated by the time this episode out. For context, Horner smashes eggs. Wait. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Now, logically, on that note, we go to 69, specifically 1969,
Nice.
to travel back in time to Dave Russell, I believe. Have I completely forgotten what his name is? Neil Russell, sorry about that. And since now that we've changed into a topic and we're not discussing something serious anymore, I think I'll let Sassy in.
A good plan.
Sassy, join.
So,
likes Troodontids. They're the only theropod he likes. Hello, Sassy.
Hello there.
The one theropod he likes is a dubious genus.
Makes sense. It's probably going to be like a pterosaur eventually. Omnivorous pterosaur.
Probably.
Troodontopteryx. Anyway, Sassy, just to catch you up, we've already discussed the history of Troodontids, of quote-unquote Troodon and Stenonychosaurus and Polydontosaurus, and the Van der Rees paper. So now we're discussing Dale Russell, 1969, description of the almost complete skeleton of Stenonychosaurus. I'll get some pictures up of the skeletal. It's actually really damn good. And if you recognize the sort of outline and pose, Sassy, you'll know where we're headed with this. I'm gonna share the picture now. Podcast image channel.
This is gonna be good.
Putting Wi-Fi don't die on me now. It's taking way too long to load. Why is it processing so much? Oh. Yeah. Oh god, upload failed.
A while.
Craig, please.
Oh boy.
Yes, thank you, Craig.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah. With actual chest cavity and decent gastralia. It's not too bad. It's not shrink wrapped. Well, until they put the skin on it, and then it got shrink wrapped. But
Yes.
Oh, no.
yes. So Dale Russell came along with 1969. I don't know why I keep saying that. Well, I do, but and he created a life-size sculpture of Stenonychosaurus. He actually
Should
wrote
I
a
post
paper.
that one?
Do you have just the reconstruction of Troodon of Stenonychosaurus?
Yes, I'll DM it to you real quick so you can
Yes,
check if
because I
it's
don't. Yeah,
fitting.
go ahead.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a pretty iconic one. Yellow, green. Of course, it's leathery skin and big eyes. Most
Also
people know it, I
Reminds
would
me
say.
of something.
Also, the slit eye, the vertical slit eye,
Yeah.
which I believe became a sort of trope. Yeah, I don't. Well, if it was nocturnal, which the big eyes would suggest, I guess slit eyes are acceptable. Maybe, I don't know. We really don't know that much about dinosaur eyes on account of never having found one. So
I have found one.
I wonder why.
Wait.
It was a dead bird laying outside. Hadn't started rotting yet.
Yeah, I knew this would.
that's fair.
I knew this is what you would say.
So also props to it being Stenonychosaurus. This was of course before Curry and the Megalump. But this was published in a paper, and what's interesting of sorts, I don't know if it was peer reviewed. Be interesting if someone actually peer reviewed it. But the paper also creates a speculative descendant of Stenonychosaurus had the asteroid that had killed the dinosaurs never impacted the Earth. And the vernacular phrase for this is Dinosauroid.
Oh boy.
This is where it gets real. I will
That's
share.
what the colors remind me of.
Yep.
Yes, Sassy finally gets it.
I got it a long time ago, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't know what I had planned.
Okay.
But
Sure.
big
That's it. That is the Dinosauroid, along with Stenonychosaurus.
Everyone's favorite. I don't even know what to call this, to be honest.
It's a weird ass cryptid.
Yeah.
It's
With
not
a belly
man.
button as well. With a
It's
belly
a
button.
man.
So I guess
Well,
life
at least it doesn't
is-
have nipples. Silence.
or discernible genitalia. Okay. But it has a wattle, so that's cool. That's Tarbosaurus throat pouch right there. For context, Tarbosaurus did not have a throat pouch, and there is no evidence for it. That's a misconception for another day.
Also, the correct number of digits.
I mean,
Like 3 fingers, 3 toes.
yeah. Opposable finger.
Does
Which-
it have pronated hands, though?
Well, it's not real, Sassy. Dinosauroid can't hurt you. Dinosauroid. But yeah, now pronated finger. You'll notice these.
Unless Edaf decides to show up in Germany.
Yeah.
In which
Okay.
case. You're screwed, Sassy.
Oh no.
You'll notice the Stenonychosaurus, the accurate quote-unquote one, has an opposable thumb. This is something that I've seen Troodon and Stenonychosaurus be credited with quite a lot, without any actual evidence for it. And if I were to look at like something more recent, like the Australovenator Forum range of motion paper, they do reference opposability in fingers, but only credit Bambiraptor as having evidence of it.
Which isn't a Troodontid.
It's not. It's confused. It's
It's
possibly
a
juvenile.
micro obviously.
It's possibly a juvenile Sornithoides. Which one is it? Sornitholestes, but with the epic new, nearly complete Sornitholestes specimen, I'm assuming that when the post-crania for that are described, that will get either bunked or debunked. Bunked is now a term, yes.
Yes, that should be scientific consensus. That the term bunked is real.
Yeah.
Like Thagomizer and recreated
yeah.
bunked.
Yeah. Now, Dinosauroid became very popular because it's very fun as a thought, but it's complete borkedness. It's just wrong. It's very telling.
That if something becomes intelligent, it has to be humanoid, which is quite honestly ridiculous.
Yeah, it kind of shows the ego of the human race in that respect. There's really nothing to suggest that, I mean, you're already bloody bipedal. You don't need to. The whole reason why humans are bipedal was because of change environment and primarily arboreal animals needing to evolve this stance to be bipedal and walk around. I don't know if you know this, but it's already
the reason that
bipedal.
it was reconstructed as a bipedal, as a erect animal, is because otherwise no one would have a clue how to make the chairs look.
Thankfully, especially in recent years, more and more people are starting to do their own dinosauroids, but less human and obviously more based on actual dinosaurs and birds.
Speaking of which, are we ever gonna discuss Dinosapien?
I have no idea. I'm not sure if I want to.
Have you seen Dinosapien?
I know what it is,
Okay,
and I wish I didn't.
I watched the entire series when I was a kid. I got it from a friend who just I was lent it, quote unquote, by a friend who just happened to never ask it for it back. I was like, okay.
I wonder why. I genuinely wonder why.
I mean, there were bits I enjoyed about it. There were disappointments. Last episode was a big disappointment, but there were bits I enjoyed about it. A lot of fights.
The original Game of Thrones or what?
Yeah. But anyways, we're getting off topic because there's really not much more to say about Dinosauroid other than it's wrong.
Yes.
Very
wrong.
Yeah. So this was 1969. Thank you for that. And has pretty much been forgotten as of late, which is good. I say that, and yet when we get into the media,
it has not been forgotten.
Yeah, but I believe that kind of wraps it up for the quote-unquote science aspects of this episode.
Mostly, I would say, yeah.
There's really not much else to discuss. We've got the paper I just sorted, and also Dinosauroid is a thing.
So this won't be a 2-hour episode.
You say that now, and yet the amount of paleomedia I've got, no, it won't be a 2-hour episode.
Okay, so what are we going to do next?
I mean, over to you, Armin. It is time for the much-missed retro paleoart segments.
I've looked through my magazines, I've looked through my books. I haven't looked through all magazines, I didn't have the time. By the time we were recording this, I woke up 2 hours ago, so forgive me. But I could find a couple of things that are interesting to look at. First off, this is from 1988, I think, Steve Kirk. which is actually in the book described as Stenonychosaurus, not Troodon.
Very nice. It's very good to hear.
Yeah.
That looks very similar to the chest and all that of the
Yeah,
Dale
it's
Russell.
fairly thick.
Yeah, thick.
Yeah,
but
the legs
skull-
on the other hand are Christ almighty.
Yeah.
Something else.
also
Oh, yeah.
notable for not having the big eyes. It does have the pronated finger as well. If
Yeah,
you
I
look
do
at
see
the
one picture.
hand. Yeah.
But not locked in a pronated position.
Yeah.
Actually, looking through the
Opposite.
others I have here, quite a few have pronated thumbs, fingers. The next one definitely does. Should I move on?
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
do you have
I
anything?
mean, it's pretty nice. Does anyone else want to comment on it? I like the eyes. The fact that they're not the Dale Russell eyes.
Yeah, I quite find interesting the white stripe that kind of goes into blue, the neck down.
I like that.
Kind of reminds me of the JP3 Raptors in combination with the purple body color and yellow belly.
Yeah.
Huh. Did we discover something? I doubt it.
It has counter shining because it lives in fear of the Tyrannosaurs.
Sure. Okay. With you complimenting how it's not just a Dale Russell copy, have fun with this Dale Russell copy.
Oh
Like, they have
god.
the same kind of leathery skin. It's a little bit more brown. And it also has the opposable thumb finger thing.
It looks like it has snake scales.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
It's this weird mix between really obvious scales, but it's also really smooth and shiny.
Ooh.
Like you polish
Yes, it's so
someone's
shiny.
bald head.
And someone was lazy when coloring the background.
Yeah, not much more to say.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the color. This particular color scheme is repeated quite a few times in the magazines, as you can see with the next one. Which
It looks
is
like it has a sail.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Just kind of shrink the back, really.
Oof.
We also got this one.
Oop. Oop. Oh.
I mean, again, credit the criticism. The body is pretty thick.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. This clearly must be post Dale Russell. Yeah, all of these.
Yeah, obviously.
For sure.
But I just have one quick
Genüssliches
question, which is
Fleisch.
emoji, please.
Well, if you need an emote, I have something else
Oh.
Oh.
which will come up.
Oh.
But first of all, same issue had this picture. There's a lot to uncover with this one.
There is a quadrupedal theropod in this picture. And it's not
Yes, that's one of the things.
Wait. That's
Laying.
illegal.
It's laying eggs because this was about proposed brood parasitism with Orodromeus, I believe. Which,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
that's-
which I think
weird.
wasn't it based on Troodontid eggs being found, theropod eggs being found close to
Troodontids, yeah.
Orodromeus nest?
No, I would
Which-
assume it's based on the Troodontids near in the Oviraptorosaur nest.
Maybe I will have to admit didn't
No.
look much into
I
that.
mean,
Wait,
the
I can't just pull up the magazine and look up what they say in this. So that might be a good idea.
Is it? Is it?
The other issue. Okay. Mystery of the egg.
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 Oh, also it lacks a first toe, the hallux.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have a dew claw.
It lost it in a fight against the animal it's laying its eggs in.
It's
Yeah.
Laying its eggs in an animal. That's not parasitism. Was Troodontid.
That's actually Jurassic Park Troodontid.
Oh
I'm
God.
sorry, I wanted to say
Oh.
the correct way, but it was
Oh
just
God. Armin, you reminded me. We'll have to discuss that one, won't we?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, fine.
Okay, Troodon, blah blah blah. No.
why are its fingers so crooked? If you look very closely, it has like no skin on them.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, so the magazine says that in close to Oudromeo's nest, they found pairs of weirdly shaped eggs with Troodon embryos. I'm gonna look into this real quick on Wikipedia.
Wait, what with Orodromius?
Close to an Oudromeo's nest, they found 2 eggs with Troodon embryos, just 1 pair.
I mean, that was probably just an egg mountain sort of thing.
Yeah,
Because they were
probably. I
all
mean,
laying
I could
their
easily
eggs.
mention that they design. Okay, yeah. However, MOR 246 and other eggs from Egg Mountain are now considered to belong to a Troodontid, which may be Stenonychosaurus. So, quite possibly, all the eggs were Troodon or Stenonychosaurus, basically.
Okay.
Possibly. Holotype was found in a layer of the 2 medicine formation, dating from the Campanian stage about 75 million years ago. Consists of a partial skeleton with skull, the paratypes of MR246, a clutch of 19 eggs, some with embryo PP22412, PP22412, a set of hind limbs, MOR311, a partial skeleton with skull, brain case. A full published description is still lacking, though an unpublished thesis on Oudromeos exists. However, MOR246 and other eggs from Egg Mountain. Okay, so basically all the eggs might possibly be
Right.
Troodon, Stenonychosaurus, 2 medicine. I don't know.
Medicine, yeah. If it's
Okay, so
that's
that's where this image originated.
Right.
This is the perfect basis for another children's song.
Nope, we had enough of those.
I cannot listen to another one of those ever.
Anyways, the picture I cropped it out in this version, but also had a picture of the Orodromeus in the background noticing this, and it's pure gold.
Ah.
I mean, that's the face of someone who's really shocked up. I mean, I would probably have the same facial expression, to be honest.
He's a
Also-
cutie though.
Not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I assumed this was Psittacosaurus.
I too thought it was. At Taxonomic.
But nope,
Yes,
they clearly said it's Orodromeus. And well, Psittacosaurus and Troodontids kind of difference. Time.
No.
So
Never know.
and I have one last, which is early 2000s.
Ooh.
So you can expect something more updated.
So, nothing good.
That's
No,
actually
it has
I
fuzz.
like that.
It has fuzz on it.
fuzz?
Yeah. It doesn't have a pronated claw. I mean, it
Ah.
still has
This is
issues.
indeed better than expected.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
It has
I mean, obviously,
a dew claw as well. Size is
obviously,
bad.
it has issues. Like tail and neck are really skinny. It doesn't have a tail fan, no wings or anything.
I mean,
And
Does
it's
it
just
have the
yeah,
color
true.
scheme of African wild dogs?
no,
No,
just
it's more
generic.
snake-like, to be honest.
Generic
It's
spots is what I would describe it as.
Yeah.
If you look at the picture and then you look to the left, I mean right, you can see like a face of the Troodon.
Yes. I mean, should I posted one? I didn't before
Oh.
because it barely looks like Troodon anyways.
Okay. Yes. Go for it.
Okay, just let me grab my phone and my book and.
Anyways, in the meanwhile,
Uh,
I like that a lot. Actually, that's not bad. I mean, aside from the neck and tail, like you said, Armin.
Yeah, those
Pretty
are
good.
really skinny.
And I mean, lack of wing feathers.
The
Well,
lack of tail
but-
feathers?
well,
Huh?
I already mentioned
Yes.
that one, Sassy.
Exactly.
But yeah.
yes. I see.
Yeah, we've got 2 instances of Troodontids with feathers preserved, and both of them preserve a tail fan. It's Jinfangopteryx and Jianyan Hanlong, I believe.
It's beautiful.
Oh god, that's terrible. Why the
I s-
crests? Why the crests?
Don't
I
know.
see you've posted cringe.
All of these are
It's
glorious
a
emoji.
small-toothed Tyrannosaur.
Yeah, those
But
are
it's-
doesn't
those are
really
very
have lips
small teeth.
proper. It's just half lips, kinda.
Yeah, if even. I would
It's
argue that those could actually.
crocodile-like facial document.
Oh. Yeah.
So those are asymmetrical nostrils. If you notice, the one on the left is
No! No! Now that I noticed
Now I
that.
can't unsee it.
It was punched in the face. Poor guy broke his nose. Who are you to judge him?
Poor dude.
Why did you say anything?
I mean,
Now
it
the
could be
eyes also
worse.
look unsymmetrical.
It could be worse. Like, I mean, we've seen worse stuff when a Carol just photoshopped eyes into nostrils, which thankfully isn't a possibility here. Ha! Jokes on you.
He could try.
He can try and he can fail because those are some tiny nostrils and some massive eyes.
It just needs to reach for the nostrils.
Yeah, you've doomed us all, Armin. If I had I'm going for it.
Oh god.
Do it.
Anyways, I will do that. That will be. Stay tuned for the end. I'm not going to do it now during the episode because I don't have my mouse set up. But when I do,
It can be the teaser image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
So are we going to look at media appearances now?
Not yet. I believe there's as I spoke with Armin about this. There's one more Troodontid retro paleoart. Now this one is not Troodon, but I'd like to see it anyways.
Oh yes, of course.
Which species? And maybe it does actually tie in. Which species is it?
It's species or genus?
Sorry.
Yeah, it's Stenonychosaurus.
Sauronithoides.
Yes.
It's Troodon Stenonychosaurus.
That's not even.
Well, you said it's Sauronithoides
Yeah,
It's some-
Stenonychosaurus.
or Sauronithoides.
Nah,
I heavily dislike this.
This is cursed.
Says
Why is
Sauronithoides.
Stenonychosaurus
Yeah,
witness name?
Sauronithoides. Sauronithoides works because we mentioned how Gregory
Yeah.
S. Paul lumped it with Troodon, so it is technically related.
So, definitely not as good as the Stenonychosaurus in this book.
But I love how it's running after something. Can I just Photoshop like a running baby or something after that, like running towards traffic? I don't know why my mind went there, but
A Troodon stole my baby.
so that kind of concludes retro paleoart, I believe.
Yes, it does.
And
now we can go
The
go
last
to
one was
media
terrible.
appearances.
ordinarily I was just gonna do documentaries, but since you've mentioned it, we're gonna discuss
Oh, okay.
Jurassic media. We'll start with which one should we start with?
Let's start with the good one. So Jurassic Park, the game, and then we just go in
That's a
descending
good
order with
one.
Jurassic World Evolution and. Should we
Yeah,
include
okay,
Jurassic
that's a
World the
bad
game?
one.
I don't know. I was just gonna do the two big ones. I don't know the Jurassic World the game one, so
It's
The game one,
surprisingly decent.
okay.
it's
I would
actually
say
not
it's better
horrifying.
than the Jurassic
Anyways.
World Evolution one.
It needs
No.
to beat that.
I mean, props to them for having feathers, which is something they have over the Jurassic World one. At the
Maybe
same
they
time,
took it to an extreme with everything, basically.
They are like
Yeah.
xenomorphs.
I mean,
But
those
worse.
eyes are.
light bulbs.
Yeah, I actually made a video about it once.
Armin. Armin.
It's like it
Um,
has some very weird disease that makes it eyes really big, and then once you pop it, lots of slime comes out.
But
In the
I also
game-
found this other picture. Yeah, sorry, go on.
In the game, they also have the strange habit of laying their eggs in people that they paradized with a venom, which is I have no
As
idea
Nothing
I
how
in
it
the
said,
fossil record that disproves this behavior. Maybe they did actually hunt
Yeah,
people.
we can't say for sure that Troodon did not lay its eggs in humans that possibly time
I
traveled.
mean, I said it earlier that Stenonychosaurus or whatever it was laid the eggs in another dinosaur.
You see? It's all just lying there for us. Oh, it even has like kind of body feathers, possibly. If you look
Yeah,
at the
on the
outline of
back.
the body. No, and also if you look with where the red skin is. Those streaks. I don't know. It's low poly. But anyways, I also found this image. And if you look at the mouth of the one in the middle, I wonder if you see what's wrong with it. I don't believe teeth extend beyond the
over.
mouth. I don't believe. I'm questioning the practical applications of having teeth outside of your cheek.
So
Hmm.
since we talked about reaction pictures and
Maybe
memes
it's a
earlier,
piscivore so that the fish don't fall out.
Of
that doesn't
what?
make sense because it has skin in that area. I mean, this is emote worthy.
No. If you touch the skin, it's very soft. Everything can break it. So you need teeth there to protect them.
No.
Also, whoever took this screenshot was a really good player because they have gold rank.
Oh yes.
Ooh, weird flex, but okay.
Gamer alert.
Anything left to say?
I honestly don't think anything.
They
we
are
can say will top
goddamn
that.
ugly.
I really love the design, to be honest. It's inaccurate, but I love it.
I mean, they're hideous, but look, they're hideous in a good way.
It really fits for what they are going for, which was the horror aspect of it.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to see in Jurassic World.
Yeah. And I'll always give them props for feathers. I will always do that. Even if
Speaking of
it's-
feathers, Jurassic World the game surprisingly did out of the
you
Jurassic
share it.
World Troodontids, it's probably one of the better ones actually.
Oh, not bad. Bad.
Could be a lot
There's
worse.
some thick ass feet, but
Oh, the feet. Ooh.
that's not too bad.
Definitely
It's
not the
alright.
worst.
Yeah.
Wait, one second.
Yeah. Left.
It's a parrot.
Okay, yeah, from now on it's just going downhill. Jurassic World Evolution.
Yeah, I'll share. Do you have a picture? Or
Oh,
I'll share a
I already
picture.
have a picture. I'm posting it right
Okay,
now.
go for it.
Ew.
It seriously looks like the thingy, the statue from
A little
Chloe.
bit.
Yeah,
I
the
think it
color
was.
scheme is similar on the body.
They also
If the eyes were yellow.
implemented the whole Venom thing again with these ones.
But made them look less interesting.
Yes, they are really boring to look at.
I'll give them props for getting the torso more accurate, but also negative 100 props for removing the feathers.
Yeah. And should I just post the live show one?
Yes.
Oh god!
Do it.
Yeah, I care. Did you
Just
forget about
do
this
it!
one?
No.
I feel like you forgot about it.
I forgot about it.
Well, thank God I'm here to remind everyone of the cringe.
No. Delete
Go
this.
for it, Armin.
immediately.
It's
That guy looks so proud with his Troodon.
isn't this Chris Pratt?
It's not Chris Pratt.
No.
Not
The
Chris
woman-
Pratt, Chris Park, Jurassic Outpost, that guy.
Oh, no one knows what it is, so no one cares.
There's one thing I'll always love about this picture, though, and I'm really glad you shared it. And it's this.
Yeah.
It smells
Like-
like
Yeah, everyone's
Nosy,
reaction when we
right?
noticed that the kill claw is missing.
It shouldn't have made me laugh. It just shouldn't. Can we
that's-
move on to something better? It makes me
that-
cry.
And the eyes as well. That is very 1969.
I love how it has a Thanos chin, kinda.
Wait.
I mean, compared
Ew,
to the
it
snout
does.
tip.
Like, I didn't know I could hate it more, but
It has an underbite. No.
Hmm.
Why?
For context, most theropods have the opposite.
For context, most animals have the opposite.
True, but this is, I don't know. Maybe Troodon was a barracuda. We don't know. It's only a tooth. But everything is wrong.
They also clearly spliced it with Velociraptor DNA because it's so big.
They spliced it with Indominus Rex DNA. Mhm.
Makes about as much sense as everything else in Jurassic World.
That's I have speech. I have the feet. Why? Every previous version is better than this, and everyone to come will be better than this.
As I said, it's a downward spiral. You have like really well designed, even if inaccurate. It has feathers. It looks pretty good. Then you've got really old school, no feathers, nothing, and then you've got this abomination.
there wasn't enough budget for the killer claw.
It speaks volumes when the Jurassic World, the game model, is one of the better ones.
Jurassic Park the game, or
Jurassic World, the game.
Yeah, Jurassic World.
Oh, yes.
game.
I mean,
Jurassic
Jurassic
World
Park, the
game.
game.
Jurassic Park the game looks more like Jurassic World Evolution as I'm aware.
No, I don't know all these names. What are these names?
Yes, I don't know it. No,
Just stop making games and make good movies, please. Or just stop making movies and make good games. One of the two.
stop making both and come up with something new, you idiots.
I can second that. Ah,
Okay, so I think we can move on to documentaries now.
yeah. On that note, I think we're gonna start off with Dinosaur Planets 2004. Here we go.
It looks so awkward, but also kind of cute.
Yeah.
Derpy.
Props to wing feathers, I guess.
Even if
they're
those are
not very good.
kind of
It
Okay.
looks like it's bald, but yet not
for
because it's
single
fuzzy.
feathers. Yeah,
Wing
good. That's a wing.
It's got,
Call
it's
it a
got
day.
more. It's actually got okay if you look at it from the side. Well, because the show is in pretty bad resolution. Like, I mean, the resolution's fine for the show, just not for screenshots.
Also, I love how the eye is just unfocused and just staring into the distance.
Looks like they're just
Just-
looking two different ways.
Props are giving it a full coat of feathers, not just back and head and everything. Even if it's kind of weird fuzz, but that's actually. I mean, it's 2004.
They again modeled it and then took some weird filament brush instead of actually modeling it like a bird, so it looks like it actually has feathers and it's some
To be
weird
fair,
fur.
2004. First of all, we didn't even know
Yeah.
that dinosaurs had more than proto-fuzz at that time. We didn't really
Yeah.
know
I
that for
don't
sure.
care. I knew it already.
There's a much worse inaccuracy that you guys haven't
Were you
spotted.
even born in 2004?
God,
Mm.
2003. Wow, I always think it's 2004. It's 2003.
Oh, damn.
But very
Maybe
late,
I was born
2003.
already.
But
I
need to
take it as a no.
I just want to point out that there's a big inaccuracy you guys have missed. Look at where
Um,
the dew
toes.
claw is.
Oh, on the wrong side. Oh boy.
Oh, how did I not notice that? That's a no bueno.
I'll share another picture to show this. This as an example, like the quality that you can
Also,
find. But that is an outwards facing inner
This
claw.
quality
So-
is like a cryptid picture. Is this an image of Bigfoot? Is it a chupacabra?
It's fuzzy. It's bipedal. It's Bigfoot.
Is it the Black Knight satellite?
What?
A little bit of I don't know. A little bit of science about this thing. So this is set in the two medicine formation. So that would make it the two medicine troodontid.
We are of course not gonna cover the European island, quote unquote, Troodon because it's
They don't call them troodon, I think. They call them troodontids. No, they call it troodont, I think.
because we're focusing on North American stuff that's connected to Troodon.
Also, that's just a generic troodontid. Anyways, there's it's really not based on any particular. I mean, it's based on several ones, but they are just generic, really, because there was so much going on. I mean, troodontids from Harteg Island alone is an episode in and of itself. Or just Maniraptorans there. You've got Balaur, you've got Balaur, you've got Gargantuavis, you've got Heptasteornis, you've got Bradycneme, Elopteryx. And it's all a mess.
Just note most of these aren't Troodontids, but
None of them are troodontids anymore, really.
Yeah.
But they've gone through everything. They were initially giant 2-meter tall owls. Then they were alvarezsaurs, troodontids. Now, who knows? Maybe synonymous with Gargantuavis. The issue with the reason why we can't really tackle them at this point is because there is no consensus for us to really talk about. That's why.
it's a big mess.
That's why this one was manageable, so to speak, as an episode, because there has been a
kind of came to the conclusion with North American Troodontids, so we can't talk about
at
it.
least with those ones, Pectinodon and the Hell Creek, but the companion Troodontids, those are pretty solid in these select regions, because then there's the Alaskan ones. But anyways, some of it has been solid.
Moving on, what do we do next? Do we go in chronological order?
Yeah, I think so. So that would mean the next one is, any of you know?
I know, but I'm not going to say it.
True, you have
But let's just make this into Dora. Which Troodon comes next? Say it with me.
I need multiple choice answers here.
God damn it, Cal. You don't turn on Dora on TV and say, Dora, I need multiple choices.
You don't know me.
Swiper,
Okay.
no swiping. What are the other options?
Maybe actually talk it out
with Swiper.
Dora.
Kill Swiper.
Yes.
It's just like a little fourth choice.
Commit a murder.
There
against
only is the
sniper.
option that you want to choose.
Oh god, I've got a meme to make after this. But anyways,
This is gonna be a good episode in terms of memes. I already know that much. Let's just prehistoric park.
Oh, I should have known that.
Wait,
I don't know. Those fingers weird me out so much.
it's so skinny.
Longer finger.
It's like
Its pubic boot is like
pubic boot has a pubic boot.
I don't want to look at it anymore.
Yeah, it's skinnier than the Dale Russell version. That says a lot.
Yeah.
And this is with feathering,
Prehistoric
because if you
park
look
is
at
great
the
and all that, but this model
Look-
is terrible.
Look into its eyes. It's just nothing but black.
it's even correct. I can't argue with that.
That is
if you look at the textureless model, you'll notice it actually does have feathers.
Also, perpetual jazz hands.
That's like pubic hair.
Why?
How Sassy knows anything about pubic hair is beyond me.
Asshole.
Okay, so it's also the same model for the Meilong. That's fun.
May is a
fact.
Troodontid, right?
Yes,
I
it
believe
is.
I believe it may. Yes.
Okay,
It is.
then it's excusable.
Get it.
Enough.
Get it?
Ah, you sly bastard! God damn it!
That was terrible. I hate that.
Yeah,
I
it is.
hated
It is.
that.
It's a Sinovenatorine Troodontid.
Oh,
Meilong, not Troodon. That would be a twist. But yeah, not really much. That's a tiny ass sickle claw as well.
I can make it smaller.
Don't.
Okay.
it's even such an insignificant part of the episode, really.
Yeah.
Wait,
I really
is the
love.
one in the background missing a
But
leg?
when was my long
I-
ever featured in any
No,
documentary?
I wait. What?
In the first picture, look at the one in the very background. I assume the legs are aligned in the way, but it looks like it has only one leg.
It does.
Oh no.
Hilarious.
No, its other leg is on the meat. That's why. It's got another
it?
leg. If you look on the meat,
Okay, I see it now. I see it now.
yeah.
You can see
I
that
don't.
the other leg.
Look at the meat in the background, the middle meat.
Okay, I see it now. Yeah.
Meat. Yes, of course.
No, there goes my fury.
This is-
Mhm.
but
The one
I do
leg
love
stroller.
I do love the run scene in that episode of Prehistoric Park, where you're just following it run through the forest, and you've got that music.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Prehistoric Park was one of the few things I actually watched.
Yeah, because you didn't
Okay.
watch Walking with Dinosaurs.
Yes.
Disappointing.
And
Shame.
what you gonna do about it, huh?
Kick.
Oh, you haven't seen our Tedzukon episode that we just recorded, the one where I literally kick out Yo-Yo halfway through for not having watched Walking with Dinosaurs.
That was a mistake.
No, the episode recording is fine for now, so I can still edit it. It's just Gyark rescued us.
Thank God for Gyok.
I wish I was at 10.
So let's move on with a 5-year time skip.
Yeah. Yes. So. Oh crap! I also forgot there's another one from 2011, but that one's possible. Well, yeah, I'll add that one in a second. Actually, so many, I just keep forgetting. Anyways, while I look for that one, enjoy the Planet Dinosaur Troodontid. Oh, just one
It's
last
not
word
that
mention
bad.
for
I really
this.
love the
It
colors, to be
reminds me
honest.
of the last image Armin posted of his thingies,
What?
It's not terrible.
of the retro art.
Oh, yeah,
It's
the
like
spotty.
this.
Oh
These
yeah.
are ornithoides.
I just want to mention, we have no clue what through the prehistoric park Troodontid may be, because I think it's not even supposed to be in that formation. I'm not even clear on what formation it's set in. So it's just
weird because Dinosaur had quite a wide range, to be honest.
and so did Parasaurolophus. So
Yeah.
and I don't, and the Albertosaurus is clearly
wasn't
displaced.
exactly uncommon either.
Yeah, although, and it may also just be displaced, so we really don't know.
Yeah.
I do believe that this, the Planet Dinosaur Troodontid may be, I don't know, which is the formation it's in. It's with Centrosaurus and Chasmosaurus. Dinosaur Provincial Park, so with the Dinosaur Park formation. Is that the one with like Daspletosaurus unnamed densis? That's the one with the unnamed.
With the epic pterosaur.
It's the one with the unnamed species of the. Wait, is that where Cryodracon is from?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's Cryodracon.
I wouldn't remember because the promo art for Cryodracon shows snow, which probably wasn't present that common in dinosaur park formation, which will always bug me, that they show it in a paleo environment that would not have been the most prevalent paleo environment of its formation. But anyways, dinosaur park formation, so most likely Stenonychosaurus. Although, like we said, we don't know. It might as well just be Latinovenatrix, but probably not because it's supposed to be a smaller individual. So Stenonychosaurus. And the reason
Maybe
why
it's a juvenile Latinovenatrix.
no, and the reason why I suspect it isn't is because this Troodon is shown to contrast with the the giant Alaskan Troodontid shown in the episode, because the episode also features the giant Alaskan Troodontid, which is the exact same model. But yeah, this one is shown.
Bigger.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that one, but I just want to share this one image of it, which I think is also a good meme template.
Okay.
Just putting it out there. Potential.
Is that? Oh, its face looks so weird from this angle.
Top 10 memeable
Okay,
dinosaurs.
you can't tell me I'm not the only one that sees a human face in this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh no, why did you have to say this? Okay, can we please move on? This is making me uncomfortable.
It has a nose, it has a mouth, it has eyes.
Please. It was the other one from
Unfortunately,
2011.
you're going to have to stare at that a bit longer, Armin, because I have to find the other Troodon.
Oh my god.
So,
Good morning,
enjoy.
fellow humans. I
mean, it does!
This is the future Jurassic World once.
This is the best Troodon in any best Troodontid, I would say, in any paleomedia. So I think you guys know which one this will be.
And no. Wait, is it March of the Dino? Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Identified as Troodon. It's possibly yeah. It's pretty good. It's great. There's no flaws really. Color scheme is questionable, but other than that, it's great.
I forgot the one existed though, so it has a flaw.
Yeah, it is, but that whole episode is flawed. So, pacing in that episode is just so weird. There is no pacing. But I will possibly pick Pectinodon, which was lumped under Troodon for some time, but honestly, I don't really care. Pectinodon's also probably dubious. It's just a
Pectinodon
tooth.
is like fragmentary ass thing.
Yeah. So really, it's just a nice Troodontid, and I like it a lot.
Does this mean we will be discussing the saurian Pectinodon or what?
Nope, we are not going to go into that.
It doesn't matter. It's unimportant.
We're gonna. Well, I mean, we can definitely see how things progressed now. With feather. Well, kind of we had. Yeah. That was a kind of threw a wrench in it, but we moved on with feathers, more feathers. Let's take a step back.
Yeah. So, you guys might think, having seen the trend so far, that the next paleomedia one is just going to be perfection, right?
And
right?
No.
We know better.
We aren't fools.
Is this NHC?
No, the NHC would never be affiliated with this. This is the NHK, the far inferior.
Yes, I'm sorry, but this names problems with the names.
That is
one major step back.
Oh, it's more than just one major step back. So, step back number one, it's feathered, right? It's unfeathered. That's the step back.
It's not feathered. That's the point.
Yeah, this is essentially exactly the Dale Russell one, 1969. Yeah. Step back number two.
Even in terms of torso proportions, I mean, look at that thing.
Yeah. Step back number two. Pronated hands.
Disgusting.
And step back number three. Are you guys ready? Step back number three is whatever the hell this is.
No. I refuse.
I am not looking at it.
Arboreal Troodon. Hunting mammals. That's the point.
Is it stripping?
That's why it doesn't have feathers.
Oh god.
That was cringe.
So, yeah, let's not.
Allegedly, I mean, I've not seen the episode. Allegedly, kind of the point is that then they whip out a Dinosauroid thing because it's in the episode about intelligence, and that's why they've made it look like Dale Russell one, so that they can pull a Dinosauroid thing, but it's just another in a long line of NHK documentaries using very outdated hypotheses.
Wait.
See the
So feathers
Pachyrhinosaurus.
are the one thing that keeps Troodon from becoming a humanoid.
Guess so.
It all makes sense.
Integument is the one thing that separates the dumb from the smart. I mean, think about it. Humans, naked. Smart. Monkeys, hairy, not smart. Dolphins, naked. Smart. Land mammals, hairy, not smart. Troodon, feathers, not smart. Ergo, Dinosauroid
What's
must
the
be
opposite
naked.
of the octopus then?
Naked.
A squid with fur.
They're all smart, so they cracked it. They just
Yeah,
purged the
Yeah.
feathered ones.
they are actually our secret overlords.
I mean,
Hail
yes,
Hydra.
of course. It's a squid.
Yeah, the opposite of an octopus is a parrot with a beak. So yeah,
Yes, of course.
Yeah, they're
and
basically-
everyone knows parrots have 8 legs. So.
Yeah.
They're just sitting on all those feathers. Well,
Oh,
Yeah, okay, so let us continue.
yeah,
This
I
is
think we
all-
can wrap up actually because
because we could continue and discuss the Alaskan Troodontids, but that's just a big ass mess as is. We mentioned in
Yeah.
passing that
So does March of the Dinosaurs fall under that category?
yes,
there's Alaskan, yes.
Or sad?
So the question is it the big Alaskan boy or the small Alaskan boy? Because there's the big teeth from Alaska, and there's also brain cases from Alaska that are similar in size to.
It's an ontogenetic lineup.
I mean, they
Yeah,
are
we-
teeth, so that's quite possible. Also, it's quite possible it's just one taxon that's normal size but with big teeth.
That is true.
saber-toothed Troodontid.
No, never. That's evil.
Yeah, I think we're gonna end it here.
Now we can
Unless you guys-
discuss all the Chinese Troodontids.
Sassy, no.
Part 2.
Let's make this episode 5 hours long.
Let's
Let's discuss
wrap this
all
up.
fake
Come on,
Chinese chimeras that
please,
ever included
please.
Troodontid
Oh
material.
dear God. Okay, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Also, the Walk of Dinosaurs 3D one is also Alaskan, quite probably, and we have no clue what that one is supposed to be. Probably the small one, given the size. The NHK one is probably the big one, given the size scale of it next to a person. But at the same time, the size scales next to people are only of maximum size of the family. So, which is why nobody knows. So that's just a mess in terms of paleomedia.
Yep.
The only one we can reliably say is the big Alaskan Troodontid is Planet Dinosaur.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, yeah, I think we've kind of droned on enough about that, and we've ended it on the worst possible Troodontid depiction, I feel, given the time. Oh, wait, no, that's still the Jurassic World live show one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for sticking with us after the 2-month plus wait between taxa. And we hope that we've also been able to help shed some light, or if you already knew all of this, great as well. And yeah, that's really all we can say. We hope you enjoyed it.
So bye-bye.
See you next time, whenever that is.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.